sir.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, Jeffrey L. Boney, and you're looking at another edition of Trending Tuesdays. We got our live studio audience in the building. Make some noise. That's right, that's right. 'Tis the season. We're in the midst of the holiday season. Folks are spending all their money trying to make everybody happy. And more importantly, we need to make sure we make ourselves happy, because sometimes during this time, a lot of depression kicks in for people, and people may or may not have family or friends in their lives. And, you know, a lot of pressure gets put on a lot of people because of the expectation to provide things that they may or may not be able to even afford in some cases. But, you know, really it's about your happiness and making sure that you're okay in this holiday season. But there's a lot to be thankful for and grateful for in this holiday season. And we need to all give thanks to God for giving us yet another opportunity to be on this side, and with our health and our sound mind, and you know, just be able to be here, and you watching Trending Tuesdays and being here in the midst of Trending Tuesdays. I have a couple of outstanding guests. If everybody knows me, they know that I'm heavily into the arts. It's something that I love. A lot of people don't know this. Fun fact. I used to rap. I know I don't look like it. You know what? If you give me a check, I promise you, I'll spit as many bars as you need me to spit for you. But definitely me and my partners, we had a record label, and we put out 11 albums in 10 years, and we would tour the country and perform, and always have had an affinity for the arts. I also used to DJ. And so, it's definitely in me to appreciate the arts, whatever they look like, and whatever we do, whether it's dance, whether it's acting, whether it's singing, in my case, rapping and playing instruments. And so we have two outstanding veterans in the art world, in the world of entertainment and arts. And I want to introduce them all to you. But before I do that, I was voluntold, to show off our new Trending Tuesday shirt.
Nice.
Yeah. Just for you. I sound like an infomercial. For $29.99, you can get your anointed Trending Tuesday t-shirt. But if you buy two. Yes, thank you. No, but we're excited. I want to always take a moment to give a shout out to Danette Davis with K Davis and the Community. Trending Tuesdays is a part of K Davis and the Community. It's something that we do to ensure that the community is aware of all of the things that are going on, the conversations that we have, whether they be current events and important topics. We've talked about so many things that have been interesting and also that have changed people's perspectives and changed people's lives. And so we're believing that today is going to be another one of those days as we talk about the arts. I have joining me today someone, everybody ever heard of the Ensemble Theater? Yeah. Yes. The Ensemble Theater is a jewel in the greater Houston community. It's the only African-American theater in the city of Houston.
We have a couple of other brothers and sisters out there doing the work.
Okay.
But yes, we are the
All right.
largest, longest running, and still
Largest, longest running. All right, well, we're gonna say that.
Yeah.
And Rachel Dixon joins me. She is the Associate Artistic Director.
You got it.
With the Ensemble Theater, and also joining me, another veteran in the world of entertainment and arts, none other than Denise O'Neill with Shabak Enterprises. And let's give it up for both of these ladies, y'all. Powerful giants in the world of entertainment. Now, Denise, I know you from another world, banking. We both worked for the same bank at one point in time,
sir.
Washington Mutual, and I know you've always been into arts. That's been always a passion of yours. So tell us about Shabak Enterprises and some of the things that you're doing.
Okay, well, Shabak Enterprise started got into the public in 2012, and we introduced to the city the Fade to Black Play Festival. We had not done anything of that magnitude where we celebrated African American playwrights from across the country, and so we started a 10-minute play festival, and we are 12 seasons deep now, and known across the country for really providing a platform for Black playwrights that need to see their work produced. So
delve a little deeper into that. You say Fade to Black. It's a play festival. Like, what does that mean? What does that look like?
So Fade to Black is a play festival of 10 short plays. They're all 10 minutes long, and it's an art form that not everybody can do. You know, it takes some skill to write a 10-minute play, but it's not something that's well known by everyone unless you go to school and learn about it that way. But it gives us an opportunity to celebrate a larger crowd of playwrights instead of just one playwright per season. So every time we do the festival, you have 10 new playwrights' works, 10 different plays that are all 10 minutes long, and it's a full play, full synopsis, and all of that, all in 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And we'll come back to what made you, or what gave you the passion to want to do that and the desire to have that vision. So, Rachel.
Yeah.
So you're with the Ensemble Theater.
Yes.
Tell us about, for those that may not know, and there's quite a few people that may not know about the Ensemble Theater. Tell us about.
Well, we want to change that, right? Everybody needs to know about the Ensemble Theater. We are, like I said, the oldest, longest running, continuously running Black theater in the Southwest. We have been around since 1976. Started out the trunk of his car. George Hawkins was our founder, and he kept us going and moved the theater to Eileen Morris, who is our current artistic director, who would love to be here with us, but I'm here in her stead today. And we do a 6-show main stage season. That means we have 6 productions that run between August and July of the next year. And we also have a 4 to 6 show touring season of productions for young people, for children and families. And then we have a lot of other programming like films and poetry events, and we also have rental space in our building. And we have a young performers program. So that's for those kiddos who are 6 to 17 who want training. They were out at the park today doing the thing. They're amazing. We train them in all of the theater arts, the different disciplines, and then move them through from training to our main stage, hopefully, and then many on to college as part of the goal. Or they can go with transferable skills like you, right? You're not rapping no more, but you're still using all of that amazing
I could.
stuff. I know you could. Okay, let's just keep it straight, right? But those transferable skills for children is part of our Young Performers program. So
Now, if someone is interested in trying to pursue that as a career path, they may not even know that that's possible for them. Because you're an actress as well, as far as your experience. Because I see a lot of actors every day on social media. I'm like, I know that ain't who that's supposed to be, but they pretending very well. So no, seriously, how does a person tap in to that expertise or trying to become a part of that industry?
Right. I think a great place to start is showing up in the room, right? Be a patron. Watch all the theater, all the events. Go to Fade to Black and the 10-minute events and full-length shows. Come see us at the theater. And then after being a patron in terms of specific education about the craft, call us up. or show up for a class. We offer adult classes occasionally throughout the year, and we would love to have people come and join us. We've had a couple of folks, the last set of classes we had, a couple of folks are now, one is on our main stage right now, a couple are in the next production, a couple got picked up in one class, had never been an actor before, but they did the one class with us and then ended up taking a tour with a show to Carolina, and then came back and did the show with us. So, just showing up and expressing that interest. And we love on people. We really do. If folks show up and say they want to do it, we try to figure out how to help. We can't always do everything,
yes,
but how to help.
I'm a proud graduate of Jack Yates High School. We have an arts department over there, and they have a theater program over there, and they just did a theatrical production of The Wiz here recently. But I say all that to say that you have a lot of individuals that probably they hear theater and they think, oh, that's just for them bougie black folks. That ain't for me. What would you say to those folks?
No, just like her 10-minute play festival, you can see so many different genres of work, right? And I'm a believer that theater speaks to all of us on different levels. So if you get there and you're willing to invest in the story, it's going to talk to you. If you're willing to just be in the room, it will talk to you. And there are so many forms of theater, right? My favorite piece last year was a hip-hop piece that we did at the Ensemble. And that, I had to talk to some of the folks who were like, I only do Shakespeare, into coming to that. But it's a lot of the same stuff, but it's a story that
Great
so
show.
there are so many ways to come to the story.
So Denise, what made you get into this? Okay, you was working in the bank and, making a bunch of money doing that. And, what made you say, this is my passion? Where'd you get your start?
Wow. Well, I've always been a writer, and banking paid my mortgage, and it was a great opportunity. I'm still I still work. I'm now in commercial real estate, but theater, it was always my passion. And as I went forward and did the festival, I began to tap more into the culture, talk to the artists, and see what challenges that they were having. And that's how we ended up starting Fade to Black. I was aligned with Scriptwriters Houston, which is a wonderful peer group for playwrights, and they do a 10 by 10 every year. I was going to see that, enjoying it, and then I realized maybe in the second or third year that there weren't any plays that were very clearly identifying the African American experience. So I said, well, let me do some research to see if anybody else is doing it. I don't know if it had never been done, but it had been so long not done that nobody knew that, there was a play festival for blacks. And so we started it. Very humble beginnings. I had lots of people in the community that I had made friends with. I said, hey, I have this idea. I want to do a play festival for black playwrights. And they were like, cool, and I said,
they started cutting checks.
No, not really. I started with a favor and alliances and friends and my money. That was my money, right, to rent out a black box theater in the Heights. And the partner that I was working with, Lisa Walker, she said, Denise, this is going to sell out. And I was like, oh, whatever. But it was a black box theater. It was 90 seats. And so I was thinking selling out is not that big of a deal. But it was for us at that time because we were pulling the community together of all backgrounds and all races to make history. And so what happened in 2012 was we did the festival. And the first night was nicely booked, and second night and third night were standing room only. And then we did it again the second year, and then the third year we went to Queensbury Theater, booked out the house all three days, and then we were on to the trajectory of where we are now. So every year for maybe the last 8 to 9 years, we've been at Match, Houston, directly across the street from the Ensemble Theater. And it's an amazing product. The city really needed it, and now we're very respected, and the festival is greatly anticipated. And so the actors from the ensemble come and help us. The actors from Fade to Black go help the ensemble, and so it's a great portal for for BIPOC artists to showcase their talent.
But you know, something that you said that stood out tremendously to me was the fact that, and I know I was joking when I was like, I was joking but wasn't joking when I said you got all these checks written, right?
Yeah.
You had a vision.
Yeah.
And it was your vision, and you were excited about it, and you shared that vision. But typically, when people have visions, they don't always get the provision from people. They don't get they get the pat on the back. Oh man, great job! That's going to be a great product, or that's going to be a wonderful offering to the community. Yeah. But they don't provide the resources to back you. So you have to really believe in yourself, which you did, and now it's successful. But you know, were there any doubts and fears?
You know, we had all kind of haters. We had people, you know, we had other playwrights of different races and different genders who said, you know, the reason why you're doing this is because, you know, black playwrights can't cut it in the industry. Or why don't you make it open to all people, not just black people? Why you know,
all playwrights matter.
All playwrights matter, right? Realizing that there were thousands of play festivals that you could submit your work to, we just cut out something for us, and people had a hard time with that. You know, a lot of issues and oppression and you know, people coming and saying all kind of crazy stuff to us when we got started, but God has blessed us to stay consistent. We, again, 12 seasons in is not a small thing for a play festival. And so it was our commitment to do things that, you know, there's some things that don't cost any money. Start on time. There's no cost for that. Mm-hmm. Get the best actors. There's no cost for that. The best directors. You know, have guidelines and requirements. No cost for that. You know, and so we embraced a culture of excellence day one, and also a belief system that the playwright must have a multicultural audience. It can't just be your brothers and sisters and cousins that are black. It has to be the community helping and promoting and spreading the word of what these black playwrights were doing. So everyone in the company knew this is a play festival, all hands on decks to celebrate and advance the works of African American playwrights. And so we just kept going and just tried to do everything we did in a spirit of excellence, right? We would not accept plays that were a certain caliber. You know, we were very selective about that because we wanted to show our community this is the example of good writing or a well-written play. So when you go to Ensemble, you don't see certain plays at the Ensemble. It's elevated. You know, it brings another, it exposes you to a higher level of the arts, and that's what we wanted to do.
Yeah, and I was going to come to you and just say, you know, she just mentioned about the excellence that you all produce when it comes to the ensemble theater. A lot of people I asked, do you know or have you heard about the ensemble? And people were like, yeah. But I think if I asked the other question, how many of y'all have season tickets or how many of y'all frequent the ensemble theater? I'm sure hands would probably not be as high and highly raised. Do you experience a lack of support in the community from the African American community? Outside of those that are kind of the usual suspects? And if so, why do you think that is?
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question, yeah.
Well, of course, we have a patron base that is very supportive, and we appreciate that. And the industry across the United States has experienced is experiencing a deficit in the demographic that is that 18 to 50, right? The average audience age across the United States, no matter what race, is 62 or something like that. And so that's an issue everywhere. And yes, we would like to be known by every set of lips in Houston and within a 100-mile radius, right, that folks know who we are. Mm-hmm. So do we have support? Yes. Are we known in the community? Yes. Do we try to foster positive relationships with and partnerships with folks in the community? Yes. Would we like that to grow? Of course. Mm-hmm. Of course. And I think people know, those who know we're here know the quality of the work that we do, and those who don't, you're right, it's an opportunity for us, for sure.
So how do we I guess reach out and try to enhance that opportunity? I mean, is there things that the ensemble is doing or could be doing, or ways in which the community can assist with helping with the ensemble and also Fade to Black?
Each one teach one, right? If those folks who said woohoo, they knew the ensemble, tell somebody. And then show up. That one show a season, we want to see you there, right? And telling others. Another issue across the market in the industry in the United States is philanthropic dollars for institutions, arts institutions. We're last on the list, generally speaking. So that is always a challenge, funding. And then making sure that our ticket prices and our how we support our community is aligned with what our community can do, right? Our ticket prices can't get so high that folks can't come, but then ticket prices is a part of how we sustain ourselves. So working out that balance is something that is a constant conversation. And again, that increasing the demographic of folks who show up in the space is always a challenge. So what can the community do? Show up, educate your children, let them experience this beautiful thing. I bet everybody in this room has a story they heard when they were between 0 and 10 that stuck with them. Even if they didn't see it at theater, they heard it in an English class, or they remember grandmama telling that story. Stories move people.
Right.
And so introducing our little people to what storytelling is, not just on a device, but what it is to enjoy story in the room, bringing them to the theater is an amazing thing. So that's a way to help cultivate, that knowledge.
With this attack and this so-called, this narrative on CRT, critical race theory, where they are trying to eliminate many of the language in certain textbooks and removing books from libraries and higher learning institutions that basically tell the truth about the history of America, and is not always flattering to those that oppress those of us of African descent. And so I always frequented, because a lot of them were my clients, the Arabic Cultural Center on Stancliffe off 59 and the Beltway, and also the Jewish Community Center off of Braeswood. And they use the arts to teach and train their children on their history. Outside of just reading various books, but they tell these stories. They sit their kids around and they tell stories, and they even use puppets and different other things to educate their children on the history of being a person of Middle Eastern descent or Arabic culture or Jewish culture. And I think it's important that we support these types of institutions where many of those stories can be told or are told to help educate us on history in a more palatable way, in my opinion, because it's visual.
Right.
I don't know if I've ever done a play where I didn't walk away with some new knowledge about me or my people or my family dynamic or the world around me. You can't do theater without experiencing that, whether you're doing in terms of being a patron or working on it on the inside of it. It's human condition. Yeah. And so even if it comes from the African American perspective, which is what Fade to Black and the ensemble's focus are, African American artistic expression, it's there for a diverse audience because human condition is the same for me and you, right? Pain, I know pain, you know pain. I know love, you know love. It doesn't matter what color you are, but centered with the African American expression, you learn so much. I mean, it's amazing how much history there is to know inside of a play.
Yes,
we have coming up Camp Logan, which is all history, right? It's what happened with Camp Logan here in this city.
Yes.
And therefore, it radiates to what happened across the U.S., right? Or what's happening now across the U.S. And every play has that kind of focus or kernel that's about the world we live in and who we are as a people.
Yeah, I think that with attack on media and the seeking to silence the voices of African American thought leaders and those that are in the media and entertainment space, I think it's critical that we support efforts like you all. So, Denise, how does one find out about Fade to Black, and how can they support you?
Well, word of mouth has really been a blessing to us. Without substantial funding, there's only so much that you can do. But each time we do a festival, we are hiring about 75 people, and they tell their friends, and they tell their friends, and they come. But we have a website, fadetoblackfest.com.
Say it again a little slower.
fadetoblackfest.com. We're on all the social medias, X, Instagram. We have a podcast of our own, and Facebook. Facebook is really great. We always make sure that that's updated, and we've just recently revamped our website. So that gives you some basics about who we are and what we're doing. We've got 2 festivals that we do consistently every year. The reading series, which is coming up on the 10th through the 12th of January. That's when we read the plays. And that was birthed because in June, when we do the play festival, we had so many amazing plays that we weren't able to fit it into that particular summer program. So we said, well, how can we do something more for these playwrights? The work is so great. We really want to make sure we celebrate them and put them in a show. And so we created a reading series, and not everybody even knows what a reading is, you know. And so it's an opportunity to educate people. But once you go to Fade to Black, you're hooked. It's the best show ever. It's exciting, unique. Every show is different, and it really exposes people who are not familiar with that art form to great work.
All right.
Yeah.
One more time, the website.
fadetoblackfest.com.
All right. And you, Rachel, Ensemble Theater, how can people find out more about the Ensemble?
EnsembleHouston.com, and of course, social media. We're on IG and Facebook and YouTube and all of that. So, yep, look us up, EnsembleHouston.com.
Now, a couple of things before we get up out of here. For one, first of all, let's give them a round of applause for being such wonderful special guests today. That's all we got? Oh, okay, thank you. I'm like, come on now. Thank you. December 31st is around the corner, and many of you got some extra money that you need to write off some stuff on your taxes and all that. You know, you can give to these organizations by supporting them at their websites that they provided. And also, another thing that I try to always encourage people, many of you if you work for a corporation or a company, many of them have matching gifts. You may or may not know about that, but you can inquire. If you want to give to a particular organization or entity, they can actually match you up to a certain amount for the year if you choose that organization as the charitable institution or entity that you want to give to. So if you do work for a company, or you know somebody that works for various corporations or companies, ask them to ask, or you ask about it, and see if there's a way that whatever organization, whether it's these 2 or others, and you can do multiple. Sometimes you can do multiple. Just look into that and see how we can be more of a blessing to any and all of these institutions. Because if they go away, which we are not claiming, but if they go away, then we'll be like, what happened? Well, what happened, we didn't support them. We didn't do what it takes to ensure that they were sustainable. And that's what it's all about. And as we close, I see my frat brother just walked in, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. There are 7 rules of life I want to leave us with that I would like for us all to adhere to as we go through these holiday season. 1, rule of life, let it go. Never ruin a good day by thinking about a bad yesterday. Number 2, ignore them. You always hear, they said or them. Well, ignore them. Don't listen to other people. Live a life that's empowering to you. Number 3, give it time. Time heals everything. Number 4, don't compare. The only person you should try to beat is the person that you were yesterday. Number 5, stay calm. It's okay not to have everything figured out. Know that in time you'll eventually get there. Number 6, it's on you. Only you are in charge of your happiness and your success. And number 7, Smile. Life is short. Enjoy it while you have it. And listen, I just told you, I just came from a funeral today, 43-year-old, a cousin, and have lost several. I lost one of my fraternity brothers here recently. He went to work, head basketball coach at Westfield High School. He went to work, had a headache, went to the emergency room. They had to have emergency brain surgery on him because he had an aneurysm. The surgery was successful, so we thought. He had complications and eventually passed away as a result. What I'm saying to you is smile. Life is short. You got to smile. And I know many times, just like myself, I feel like I always got to have the light switch on because it's never turned off. Everybody's pulling at me here, there, and I'm a public servant. I get calls 24/7. I'm never not a city council member. I'm never not an elected official. I'm never not a public servant. However, you got to take time for you, and you got to be happy. And sometimes people they don't care about what you're going through. So that's why you got to focus on yourself. So remember those 7 rules of life, everybody. Again, let's give our guests a round of applause, and make sure you join us for the next Trending Tuesdays in January. God bless.